Here I am, in the place to be. Mr. K and B, you can't fuck with me. Extra sexy, extraordinary. Palms are hairy, your mama pop. What up, y'all? K and B, the Sexy Ninja, in the place to be for C Plus Studios, and welcome to the Sexy Ninja Cast. Brought to you every Sunday, but not this past Sunday. Got busy with the fam. You know, we had a big birthday party, late birthday party for myself. My mom made rice-a-roni, turkey, potato salad. Oh man, the works, and big old piece of chocolate cake. It was awesome because I got to go home with my grandparents and celebrate my birthday there. And then I came back and I celebrated my birthday here with my family and stuff like that. So, you know, it's been a big week. But let's just jump right on in. It's the unofficial podcast for Tulsa King. Episode 3 dropped. Caprice, the description of the episode is Dwight takes note of a possible new business opportunity. Later, a routine errand has an explosive, unexpected outcome. Stacy opens up to Dwight about what led her to Tulsa. So, the biggest thing I took away from here is Tyson. He asked Dwight, because Dwight has to take his driver's test to get his driver's license because it's expired a long time ago. But Tyson asked him, like, hey, where do you see me in 5 years in this? And Dwight's really honest. He goes, man, go to school, you know, this and that. And he tells him, like, hey, you need to do that. And, you know, and at a certain point, Dwight's like, has this little soft spot for Tyson. He says, here's your severance pay, man. I don't want to get you killed. After what happened when he took his driver's test, did someone try to take him out, got shots fired and everything like that. You know, it kind of makes Dwight realize, like, yo, hey, you see where that window was? That's where your head could have been, living this life. And Tyson's like, no, man, I want to do this. You know, I want to be in this life, this gangster life or whatever. And Dwight's thinking about it, and then he just looks at him. He gives him this bright, dead stare in his eyes. He goes, this is your choice. And he tells him, this is your choice. And then we cut to Tyson at his house, and he's like doing his little pose in the mirror, and he's like, yo, you fuck with my boy? You know, he's talking to himself, talking all gang, you know, talking like, hey, you want to fuck with him? You gonna fuck with me first? You know, he's talking to himself, and his dad is overhearing this, and his dad is, you know, shaking his head, just like, oh man, you know, I don't want this for my son, this and that, blah, 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 blah. And I'm wondering if there's going to be more revealed about Tyson's dad. Was Tyson's dad in a gang? I feel like that's going to be the outcome of, like, that's going to be like, hey, I didn't want this life for you. I didn't need, you know, I wanted you to be better than I am, but here you are tying yourself up with some gangster, you know, with Dwight, even though Dwight is just trying to be the best person he can be, you know, in certain ways, not in all ways, but there's you know, in him with this relationship with Stacy and everything like that. I really like that. I like the fact too, she's a fuck up. She's like, yeah, I fucked up, you know, 9/11, you know, her story's progressing a little bit more. We're getting more deep, and says how 9/11 kind of really fucked her up. And then, you know, she saw a plane flying, and, you know, it's a really great in-depth way to get more into these characters. And I really do enjoy these characters. I really enjoy Tyson. I'm really enjoying Stacy now, you know, even though she was like, oh, you're too old for me, whatnot, blah, blah. And Bodie and the new deal they made in the last episode about the weed farm and stuff like that. I can't wait to see where this goes. And man, I didn't think we were gonna get some action in this show, but when Dwight got shot at, went straight for him, and you know, he went to this horse farm or whatever you want to call it, horse ranch or whatever, and he knows that the guy that shot at him works there. And he called, but the first thing he did is he called home. He's like, hey, yo, you know, someone took a shot at me, tried to take me out. You know, you got anything about that? And the family's like, no, man, that's not us. That's not us. Our beef is squashed. I already told you. Like, the debt is paid. You paid the $10,000. You know, we're good. We're good. Dwight's like, you know, he has that chip on his shoulder because he's just like, yeah, I don't really trust anybody. But he's making this inner circle of Bodie, Tyson, Stacy. He's making these connections here in Tulsa, and he's being for the community. And starting in the episodes where he goes over to Bodie's and is like they're having this big block party or whatever. Everyone's getting stoned. People hailing off the inhalium and shit like that. Is like, hey, yo, what's that? It's $10. And he goes back to the bar. I forgot the dude's name, but the dude at the bar, who owns the bar, and he's like, hey, what if, we sell them? I was thinking at 300 selling balloons, $10 a piece, blah, blah, blah. He's doing all the math, like that's $10,000, but I can't buy these things in bulk because you're technically a restaurant. And he's like, yeah, technically I am a restaurant. And it's just so cool seeing Dwight slowly just creating these relationships, but also taking over Tulsa. Like he's a very smart and dangerous individual that you do not want to fuck with. And I love the aspect of him just giving, like, with the driver, his driver instructor. He was with him when he got shot at, and he goes and visits him, and he does these little things that I just love, where he just comes into the room and he brings some flowers, puts the flowers in there, and the guy's like, oh, thank you, that's really unnecessary, but blah blah blah, and he's like, hey, yo, hold on. And he turns off the TV, goes to sit down, and goes, hey, here, I brought you a little card. He's like, yo, this is like $10,000. Like, shh. Now I want you to do something for me. See these numbers? I want you to run these license plate. And I want you to, he knows how to play the game, folks. And that's what I love about Dwight. Even though 25 years in the pen, and he still has this awesome street knowledge of getting what he wants when he wants, also adapting to today's times. And that is just awesome, man. I am enjoying the show more than I should. This episode is called Caprice. And then he finds the car, and someone burns it, and he says things, little things that make me just like, this motherfucker's smart. But he's like, yeah, this idiot didn't know, with the doors closed and put the car on fire, the oxygen and this and that. This dude is like, I've been reading, and he's probably acquired so much knowledge inside prison. And I'm excited to see where we go with Tyson, too, because Tyson's one of those characters where I understand. I understand that whole, you tried college, you went to college, you didn't do well in college. Because I went to college. I went to community college here, CCC, and I was pushed into it, and I failed. I failed because my heart wasn't into into what I wanted. I didn't know what I wanted back then. I know what I want now. It took me a few years. It took a few hits and licks just to get to where I'm at now to understand what I want in life. And, I understand where Tyson's at. Tyson's young. He's in his 20s, but he feels stuck. He's still living at home with mom and pops and stuff. And so he's just trying to figure out. And I feel like him choosing this gangster life over a regular life is one of those things where we all have been there. What do? We try to take the easy way out. Work smart, not hard. He's making more money than I am in every week in my job. Like, I think it was like $3,000 a week or something like that. It's easy to fall into that lifestyle. And he's also talked about, remember Goodfellas, Ray Liotta's character, he got in with the family, he wasn't full Italian and blah, blah, blah. And Dwight's trying to lay like, hey, man, that's not how this works. Like, you got to understand that he almost got whacked, and killed a bunch of times. And he goes, I'm worried about you. You got my car. You have it sitting in your driveway. What if somebody saw it and just thought that I was living there and they hurt your parents? They hurt your mom. You got to understand. You got to take all these factors if you want to live this life. And I don't know. The show is just hitting in certain levels that I think this is only 8 episodes, so we're halfway through the season, and I can't wait to see where we go next. And I'm enjoying Stacy. I think Stacy finally grew on me after the first episode. I'm like, yeah, get out of here. He's 75, but damn, he looks good for 75. And second episode, she was a bit of a dick. She comes, she's like, yeah, I'm an agent, blah, 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 and he's just like, I'm just doing me. I'm going to answer you like I would answer a cop and not tell you anything. and she comes back again around, and they sleep together again. But Stacy's one of those people where she's trying to cope and have a grip on reality on herself, because in the starting of the episode, right in the starting of the episode, they have this this guy's in this, he's part of this bringing guns and whatnot, and he's in there and he's like, yo, let my dogs out, this and that, and he goes, they're good dogs, and there's standoff, and this guy comes up, he's like, hey, you're done, dude, like, you're done, and he's like, get the fuck out of here, you ain't gonna help us get this man out of this house, whatever, dogs run out, and the dude just takes his own life by blowing up everything. Now, she's still on the case of, she's on these other cases, and now she's sort of kind of helping Dwight as well. Like, Dwight kind of, like, reined her in and was like, hey, yo, if you hear anything about who was trying to kill me, let me know. I know. And that's what's so cool is, like, these relationships and Dodie and stuff. Now it's not so awkward. And I like Jodie's, like, assistant or whatever she is that works at the shop. When he comes up and she's like, I get triggered easy. He's like, what does that mean? He's like, oh, sensitive. You're sensitive. Okay. I'm sorry. I don't want to come off that way. He's a gentleman. And another little great little tidbits in here is in the last episode when he goes and gets coffee. I think it's in just 2 espresso shots. He asks for a glass cup. They didn't have that. They're like, hey, thank you for trying to be environmental friendly, but we have these paper cups. In this episode, he's sitting in front of the coffee shop again, and he goes and pulls in this brown bag, pulls out this nice little cup. This cup, puts his coffee in it, has the 2 fingers on it with kind of the pinky out, and he takes a sip of his coffee and everything like that, and it's just like, all right, the class, ladies and gentlemen, this man has class, and the fact that he's willing to drink out of a glass cup and willing to bring his own glass cup. So that's it though. I'm loving this show. I hope you're following along as well and listening to the episodes after. Or if you're not watching Tulsa King at all, you should definitely give it a try. It's on Paramount Plus, the unofficial podcast for Tulsa King. Everyone's like, yo, why are you doing this? I was like, because I am a huge Stallone fan, and I've said that before when I first started doing this. Is just I love Stallone. I love gangster movies. So now that we got Gangster and Stallone in the same room, sign me up, baby. Every single time, sign me up. Tyson, Stacy, everybody, Dodie. I'm here for the long haul, brother. And I hope this gets renewed for a season 2. I don't know where they would go in season 2. We still have a lot to do in Tulsa. He's got, the horse races. I know that's why they sent him out there originally. The family was like, yo, there's a lot of horse racing, blah, blah, blah. So Dwight's future is looking pretty bright in the aspects of him taking over Tulsa for himself and kind of getting rid of the family on his side, being like, yo, you step into my town, this is my town now. This isn't your town. This isn't anybody else's town. This is my town. Building his own faction within Tulsa and everything like that. And I know the feds are going to come a-knocking. So that's the thing about gangster movies and gangster shows and stuff like that. It can all be so great. It can all be so grand until somebody finally snitches or says something and something happens and the cops are brought in, the feds, whatever, the federal, it's a matter of time when Dwight gets his in the end and could end up back in prison, which would be kind of sucky because I don't want Dwight to go back to prison, but he understands the life he's in, and that's why he told Tyson, you're choosing this. This isn't on me. This is your choice. All right, y'all. I hope you enjoyed this episode. I hope you're watching Tulsa King and listening to these after, or unless you're listening to these now, and then you go and watch the episode. Go check it out. The unofficial Tulsa King podcast. Tell Paramount Plus, send some money over here. Or an autograph from Sylvester Stallone. I'll take that as well. Or I'll rather be in the next Rocky movie. I'll be the piece of meat that Rocky punches. All right, y'all. Like and subscribe. Share with your grandma. Share with your grandpa. Share with the bum down at Walmart. I am KMB, the Sexy Ninja. This is the Sexy Ninja Cast. And remember, stay sexy, ninjas. Whoop, whoop. Welcome to the wicked shit.